An alarm sounds. Firemen drop quickly down a pole. Trained horses plunge to their positions under suspended harness. Expert hands fasten snaps on hames, chains, and lines, and they're off. The fastest time ever made hitching up horses was by the old-time firemen. Long practice made men and horses so expert that they required only a few seconds to get underway after an alarm. Everybody enjoyed watching them. They liked the ingenuity represented by the suspended snap harness. They liked the speed and action shown by men and horses. Everybody appreciates ingenious devices that are really useful, and everybody likes to watch speed and action. That's the reason for this and other similar crowds at the Indiana State Fair. What's going on here? Men, women, and children by thousands crowded around to see everyday farm boys hitching machines to tractors with speed that would have made the old-time firefighters turn green with envy. One farm boy attached a power mower to a tractor in 40 seconds, all ready to cut hay, and then took it off in 40 seconds. That's less time than it takes to put the harness on a team of horses. They saw a farm boy attach a 2-row cultivator to the tractor and then take it off, all in 3 minutes and 19 seconds. No wonder these people were interested. They were seeing a demonstration of a new and great development in power machinery. At the Illinois State Fair, it was the same story. Every day of the week, from morning to night, thousands crowded around to watch a similar demonstration. The event was in the form of a statewide contest, open to boys under 17 years of age. Lads who had made the best records in their home communities were brought to the State Fair to compete for daily prizes and for 3 grand prizes for the week. No sporting event could have attracted and held more attention from the farmers than did this contest. It was a thrilling sight to watch these boys go through their paces. But there was much more to the affair than this for most farmers who watched. Many of them realized for the first time the tremendous improvement which had taken place in direct-connected machines for use on a tractor. They had heard of quick attachable machines, of course. Everybody has. But here they saw the quickest attachable and detachable machines yet devised. The boys did splendidly, there's no denying that. But except for the ingenious method devised by harvester engineers for attaching these machines, the amazing records hung up by these boys would have been utterly impossible. No other system of attaching and detaching machines to tractors even approaches this one for speed. It's so simple that even a one-armed man can attach and detach the machines, as was demonstrated each day at the Illinois Fair. The prize winners received great applause from the crowd. Here's the winner of the grand prize for the week, receiving congratulations. His time for the mower off and on was 1 minute, 16 and a half seconds. Here's the second prize winner, who had a record of 1 minute, 17 and a half seconds, only 1 second behind the best time. This shows how close the contest was. The time for third place was 1 minute, 27 seconds. All 3 prize winners were thus well under 1 minute and a half for attaching and detaching the mower. A 14-year-old girl who made a score of 1 minute, 35 seconds, beating many of the boys, got a big hand from the crowd and received congratulations from the judges. Part of the secret of the remarkable speed which can be made in attaching and detaching machines to the Farmall 12 is the use of sets of parallel plates bolted to flanges which are part of the rear axle housings. Between these plates, large eye bolts are pivoted. The nuts on these eye bolts are not removed, but merely loosened. The bolts fit in slots and large keyholes in the drawbar, and also in the principal frame members of the attached machines. Watch how the drawbar goes on. It is simply set so that the 2 pairs of curved fingers rest on the pairs of parallel plates. The upper eye bolts are turned down into the slots, and then the lower ones swing through the large keyholes. Tightening the 4 nuts fastens it solidly. Exactly the same principle is used in attaching the mower, corn planter, cultivator, and many other implements, except that they do not have to be lifted, but are fitted with folding supports which hold them in just the right position for attaching when the tractor is backed up to them. Attaching the mower is almost as simple as putting on the drawbar. A supporting leg holds the mower frame, which consists of a standard drawbar, like the one standing alongside the tractor, in just the right position to attach the eye bolts. The tractor is backed into position, the upper eye bolts are thrown into their slots, the lower eye bolts are then pulled through the large keyholes, and the 4 nuts are tightened. Tightening these nuts takes very little more time than is required in hitching 4 traces to a double tree. With tractor implements which go on and off as quickly and easily as those for the Farmall 12, a lot of time can be saved on the average farm in the course of a year. A farmer can cut hay in the morning, cultivate part of the day, and rake hay in the afternoon without spending even 10 minutes in changing machines. In fact, this system has made changing from one machine to another with the Farmall 12 just about as quick and easy as with horses, and far quicker than with any other tractor. After the 4 nuts are tightened with the special wrench which is part of the equipment of every Farmall 12, the lifting lever is unpinned, the supporting leg is raised and fastened in place, the power takeoff connection is slipped on, the chain connecting the hand and foot lift levers is snapped into place, and the mower is ready to whack down 3 acres of hay an hour. The entire connection can be made in about 1 minute without hurrying. Connecting the power takeoff requires no wrenches or other tools. The connecting member is pulled back against the large coil spring until it can be slipped over the end of the power takeoff shaft. The spring pushes it on the spline and holds it there. Disconnecting is just as simple. The member is simply pulled off the shaft and pushed to one side. You couldn't do it any quicker with a zipper. Hitching to the direct connected corn planter is just as simple as attaching the mower. Whenever the planter is disconnected, it is held by folding supporting legs in just the right position for attaching. The tractor is backed up to it and the eye bolt swung into place and tightened. The planter hitch consists partly of a standard drawbar, and this takes no longer to attach than does the regular drawbar already shown. The mechanism of the planter is not driven by the power takeoff, but by a sprocket wheel on the axle of the tractor. The entire connection can be made in about the time it would require to hitch a team of horses to the planter after they had been harnessed. Unhitching the planter is just as simple as hitching to it. The supporting legs are dropped, the drive chain disconnected, and 4 nuts loosened. And the planter is left ready to be attached the next time it's needed. The rear cultivator gangs attach in exactly the same manner as the planter. Supporting legs hold the gangs in just the position they were left when last detached. There's no lifting involved whatever. That's why small boys 12 to 14 years of age were able to put on and take off the cultivator in record time in the various state fair contests. The tractor is backed up to the rear section of the cultivator, and the 4 eye bolts are swung into the slots and through the keyholes, and the nuts are tightened with the special speed wrench, which is long enough to give plenty of clearance for quick use and sufficient leverage to turn the nuts down tight without great effort on the part of the operator. When this has been done, the gangs are raised with the lifting levers. This takes the weight off the supporting legs, which are then raised and hooked over the gang frame. Anyone can do this work in about 1 minute without hurrying. With the rear gangs attached, the tractor is driven into position for attaching the front gangs. These, too, are held by supporting legs at just the right height for hitching on. The supporting legs are bent in the shape of large hooks at their lower ends. This serves to keep them from sinking into the ground, and it also furnishes means for hooking them up out of the way when the machine is in use. The principal frame member to which these gangs are attached fastens securely to plates on the front of the tractor frame by means of 2 large bolts. The connection to the quick-shifting mechanism is made by only 1 small bolt. The special speed wrench used for the eye bolts at the rear also fits the nuts on these 3 bolts. When these 3 bolts have been inserted and the nuts tightened, the lifting rods are connected to the hand levers by pushing them through holes and inserting cotter keys. The supporting legs are lifted and hooked over the gang frame, and the cultivator is then ready for work. The tractor and attached machines go together just like your foot slips into an old shoe. Many of these quickest detachable machines can be operated with a power lift, such as you see here operating a cultivator. Note that it not only raises and lowers the gangs, but also puts pressure on them to force them into the ground. Any Farmall 12 tractor, old or new, can be equipped with this power lift at slight extra cost. A touch of the fingers to the control lever sets the lift in action, either for raising or lowering, leaving both hands free for making turns. The use of the power lift does not appreciably affect the time required to attach or detach the machines, as the lift is not removed. Not counting the special 2-row lister cultivator and the weeder mulcher, there are 27 quickest detachable machines for the Farmall 12. Single bottom plow, 2-way plow, 2-furrow disc plow, 1-row middle buster, 1 or 2-row toolbar type middle buster, 2-row bedder and cultivator, 2-row toolbar type cotton planter, 2-row corn drill, 2-row check row corn planter, 2-row sweep type cotton planter, 2-row runner type cotton planter, 2-row corn lister, 2-row cotton lister, 2-row loose ground lister, 2-row black land cotton lister, 2-row pivot gang cultivator, 2-row surface cultivator, 2-row rigid frame cultivator, 2-row cultivator planter fertilizer combination, 2-row cultivator for using truck garden planters and cultivators, 2-row potato cultivator, 2-row disc cultivator, beet and bean cultivator, one-row beet puller, mower, sweep rake, duster. The most complete line available for any tractor. Remember, they're quickest on and they're quickest off.